we're getting new word that, boy, you know what? He's telling you one thing out there on CNBC. Bob Iger's like, I really want to keep ABC. I really think it's great. Just as we learn legacy media has completely hit rock bottom. YouTube comes out as number one. And Bob Iger actually wants to pretend like ABC's all that. Well, you know, he's got to say something. He's got to say something because he's got the likes of this lady on his
What's
air.
interesting for me is that
Come on.
people's faith in the country is waning. That's the thing that's pissing me off. Because, in fact, there's a reason Joe Biden ran the way he did. There's a reason he's running for democracy now, because that's really what's at stake. You worried that you can't pay your bill? Wait till the other guy becomes president, and you won't have to worry about it because you'll be in some camp somewhere. Because that's his promise. His promise to us is he's going to force people to do his bidding. That's what he said. I'm going to be good on day one, and I'm going to turn into this other person. So here's the deal. This is all up to you. This is all up to you. We can sit up here till we're green in the face. But this really comes down to the people. What is the country you want?
Okay, so that was her plea. All right, that was her big plea. Don't vote for Trump under any circumstances, because if you do, we're going to be in this situation where she, alleged that he's going to lock up all the gays and this, that, and the other. It was crazy talk. But what is interesting is that what we're seeing right now, again, if we think about how we discussed in the beginning of this program, that Letitia James is out there trying to fire back at the feds and go after cops that might be working with ICE. And she wants a list of people, all while the federal government is coming in and saying, hey, maybe we need to nationalize our National Guard here in the state of New York, similar to what was done in California, because we can't have you guys at odds with us. Like, that's where we are right now. So Whoopi wasn't entirely wrong. It's just that she didn't want the outcome that actually America wanted. Right, America said, and you look at all the poll numbers, even in the state of New York, with 79% of people saying if somebody has been convicted of a crime and they are here illegally, we want them out of the country. This is where America is. So yes, they voted on the economy, but they also voted on immigration. And so any which way you slice it, if your job as president is to actually carry out what you promised to do when you were on the campaign, then how is what he's doing in any way wrong? And so the more they sink in on this stuff, I just think, look, they're fine to say it, but you got to stop saying we're ABC News and we're journalism with a capital J, all right? Like, one of you guys actually said, I have a new logo for them. I should show it. It was kind of a funny J that you guys had, because it's really not a capital J. It's a silly, silly, silly J. And you all get it. I mean, we're sitting here going, why are they still there? Peace of my mind making a very good point, asking, I'm sorry, I got to figure out how to, forgive me, I got to figure out how to put these up more correctly so it's not crooked on the screen, piece of my mind. But I think this is an excellent comment. How do you define what race and gender is if you can't define what a woman is, right? It's like we're in this twisted, bizarre, crazy landscape where we don't define what a woman is, and yet and we're not really supposed to, define colors, but you are, like, you can see it, but you can't see it. I mean, you start to get a little twisted. No wonder everybody's got troubles these days, right? You don't know which end is up. And then you got Disney saying, oh, we're so proud of our DEI. This is going to come back to haunt them. I'll tell you, Bob Iger, watch out, because Brandon Carr is no joke. He's completely serious on this. He's already sent you multiple letters. This is the most recent letter that went at the end of March, where he said, we're looking into this DEI stuff. Okay, and this DEI stuff is a problem. I want to ensure that Disney and ABC have not been violating FCC equal employment opportunity. I mean, we have FCC equal employment opportunity. We do have those regulations. We have those laws on the books. And so you can't violate those by promoting invidious forms of DEI discrimination. While I have seen reports that Disney recently walked back some of its DEI programs, significant concerns remain. He also said, you guys, and this is really important in the letter, this is important even to Disney shareholders, right? You should care about this right now, because he's willing to go back in time to see whether or not any of these DEI programs were in place. And even if they recently ended, then guess what? Disney is still in full violation. And so then you get a situation where, one, they were violating the law, the FCC laws on equal employment. And then two, they were simultaneously losing and abusing the trust, if you would, of everyday Americans, which is why Brendan Carr originally sent a letter back in December, right before Donald Trump came into office, saying, hey, guys, guess what? We may decide to not allow for those 250 or so affiliates, I'm making up the number, but it's about that, to actually have ABC affiliation, because you guys don't deserve to be carrying the news on federal airwaves. I mean, the FCC owns those airwaves, so you can see now they're up a creek without a paddle. And I suspect it's going to get worse. And you know what? It should get worse. It should get worse. They should actually just, you know what? They should sell the thing because they don't know how to make a dime out of it anyway. I get that Bob's like, no, we got to keep it. We got to keep it. He wants to keep it because nobody wants to give him any money for it because it's not worth that much. I mean, ESPN might be able to turn a dime or two because people pay for sports. We've talked about this. But on the news front, I'm sorry, it's a commodity and you don't really have any compelling personalities. And, well, it's free everywhere else. So why do you think people are going to pay for your streaming? This was something I've showed you guys before about the boys' costumes, right, listed. I mean, how is this not some kind of violation of something? I don't know. I was so offended. This was like Halloween a couple of years ago. I'm looking for a Dash costume because my son is a runner and wants to go as Dash, and I do a search for boys costumes on Disney and look what comes up, a whole bunch of princess things. You gotta be kidding me. So they're in a fresh conflict with the FCC, and it's the last thing they need at a time like this, especially right as they're dealing with Snow White being such a disaster. I'm telling you, they're gonna have to think about this. I realize they want to try and cash in on streaming, but guess what? YouTube's already got that cornered. They've been at it for 20 years. 20 years, imagine that. They just had their big birthday. And today announcing that they have succeeded in overtaking everything. So they're numero uno. Look, I'm not saying that the little guy can't get ahead, but this is not exactly the little guy. This is the Disney Channel we're talking about. And they have been losing a ton of money there on Disney streaming. And I expect that they're probably going to lose a lot more unless they wake up. You know what? They could wake up and come to their senses and get rid of some shows that are costing them money, like The View. We keep saying it. I get it, guys. I know it's frustrating because I'm like, it's just not. But you know what? Have I ever proved you wrong? I've been like right on all this. I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but did I not tell you so? Joy Reid, bye-bye. I suspect Peppermint Patty will soon be bye-bye. I suspect that they may keep Rachel because they think that she can bring in something, but at some point she's going to actually have to work 5 days a week. You know, you have to actually work for a living. That 25 mil, you know? You got to do something to earn it, Rachel. And I do suspect at some point they're going to have to get rid of this particular show because it is total garbage. I do believe that Fox News has overtaken it, although they probably overtook it a while back. I remember being on that show Outnumbered, and we were already toppling them. So The View is becoming quite toxic. From an advertiser standpoint, you don't want that toxicity, right? You do not want that, which is why if you're not going to have anything in the way of advertising, maybe you have something in the way of viewership. They're doing okay, in fairness to them. Like, they haven't completely cratered like MSNBC has, but they're not doing great. And they're not doing great enough to justify the kind of cost that goes into producing a show like The View every day. You know, you got the live studio audience and the zillions of cameras and a team of 150 producers, et cetera. They've already laid off a lot of the producers. They laid off Whoopi's team. They did actually announce more layoffs at ABC News as recently as within the last 10 days, and more layoffs, of course, at Disney within the entertainment division. I suspect at some point they're going to have to say, look, these ladies either pull it together or we're going to pull the plug. So Bob Iger has allegedly sat down the head of ABC News as well, and they've basically gone to Whoopi and to Joy and to Ana Navarro, all of these people, and said, hey, you know, we've got to actually pivot. We'd like to do some entertainment stories. We'd like to do some lifestyle stories. We'd like to stay away from the toxic politics that's digging us deeper and deeper into the hole. And it's not clear that message was so well received. I mean, other than maybe by Whoopi, I will, to her credit, say she is a pro and a professional, and she is an actress. above it all. And she's tried to scale back, but her colleagues won't. So apparently the head of ABC News, I'm not even going to try to say this poor guy's name, reportedly, poor guy, right, because he's going to deal with all these crazies, reportedly met recently with the host and with the show producer to suggest a broader, less politically driven agenda. Ooh, they didn't like that. No, they didn't like that. They didn't like it so much that, Whoopi's out there snapping at her producers live on the air. This was interesting. So this particular clip really struck me. I mean, maybe she was trying to tease them a little bit, but I also think part of what was going on was she was mad because what is she supposed to talk about if she's not talking about Trump? You got to give her a script. She's an actress, remember?
What's interesting for me is that people's faith in the country is waning. That's the thing that's
No, I don't think
pissing me
people's
off.
faith in the country has waned at all. I think people's faith in the media has waned. I think people's faith in the Democrat Party has waned, but have they lost faith altogether? In the United States of America, absolutely not. I mean, you saw a record number of people coming out to vote for Donald Trump. He got the Electoral College. Remember that, okay? And the popular vote. News today, and we'll talk about that in a segment that I have coming up later this afternoon about just exactly what some foreign entities may have tried to do in that last cycle. We'll talk about that, as I said, later on in the afternoon. So stay tuned. Make sure, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that. Share, like, comment. I want to get to MSNBC. We got a lot to talk about there. But before I do, we're looking at a market that's off today. My son even said to me, he's home from school now, he's like, Mom, my Bitcoin's way down. my Ether, it's way down, like everything. I said, honey, everything's down. So I bought a little bit today. I mean, gosh, even gold was down, I think, at one point. If you're interested in investing, and believe me, you should be, you need to be, you want to be. I'm going to get into my mom thing here with you. Like I tell my son, we go through this all the time. He'll want some new pair of sneakers. And I'm like, do you really want the sneakers? Because if you put the $200 in the market and over the span of 20 years, and I get into my compound interest speech, you're going to have a whole lot more sneakers than you would. It's important to remember that. So really, as you have these, and I'm not saying that we don't all deserve little things here and there, but just remember that the cost is not just the cost of the sneakers or the particular thing you want itself. It's the forward-looking opportunity cost of what that money could otherwise be doing for you. And so hopefully we've created a scenario there at 76 Research where that money is actually going to be working for you, because we got lots of great picks. I think our Father's Day pick is up some 23%, and lots more room to go. So go to 76 Research, sign up for the 76 report. We do have portfolios on there. You manage your money. We don't do it. You do it all, okay? So the money stays in your hands completely, but we provide you with the picks and the things that we like and the landscape to help you navigate all of this volatility. And so when things are down, this is when, my clearance speech, my dad used to say to me, Happy Father's Day, by the way, to all the dads out there. My dad used to say to me when we shopped as kids at Marshall's, because, we were okay, but we watched everything. And so I would get all my clothes at Marshall's and we'd go straight to the clearance rack. And my dad would say, you only buy clearance. It's the best brand out there, Trish, best brand. So I thought clearance was like Chanel or something, really, forever and ever. And I try and tell my kids that too. And when you're learning about investing, you want to get value. You want to be able to buy when things are low. And so when people are scared, those are your moments and opportunities. You can learn more at 76 Research. Use code word $.